Modeling School. Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD. I'm here with my partner in crime.
The real name, no gimmicks, also in HD.
How the hell are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you? Long time no see.
Yeah, it has been about 2 weeks. You know, we had a little thing. We had a bunch of things going on, including stomach parasites, all sorts of craziness.
Who had stomach parasites, for the love of God?
Well, not me, because if I did, that would be me admitting to the listeners that I had explosive diarrhea.
Yeah,
and I would never say that to any of them, so not me. But a lot's been going on. But you know what? More importantly, has happened. A bunch of things have happened since we've been away, so we can talk about them specifically. Comic-Con.
Yes. But before we get into the news, Fanboy Modeling School, RizRadio.com, Riz Radio Live 365, your home for independent radio and all that jazz, man. Comic-Con, bro. Comic-Con, man.
Comic-Con is in effect to finally give us something to talk about. We have to admit the news, particularly entertainment news, because we don't realize how good we had it. There was a golden age where every week news about video games or movies or something we liked was dropping.
Right.
And now we're scrounging for it. People be talking about things nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Just to make up news, right?
Right.
Finally, the Comic-Con has given us something to talk about. The big news about Comic-Con, for the normies who don't realize this, Marvel has returned to Comic-Con after taking like 5 or 6 years off.
Yeah, that's right. They haven't done a Hall H in quite some time.
And we used to live for those Hall H's. Yeah. And you know what I think it is? The last time he did it was the infamous Hall H, where he promised a bunch of movies that he didn't deliver, particularly Blade.
If you say it 5 times, make it happen.
What's funny is a week before this Comic-Con, he said in an interview, I really feel like a horrible failure that I was unable to make Blade work, which led me to believe that I said, you know what's probably going to happen? He's going to redeem himself by announcing a real Blade is under production. And then it came and it went, and there's no justice for black people in this world. Now, guys, normally the Fat Mantis doesn't like to accuse things as being racist, but sometimes things smell racist. And I'm gonna give you like a perfect example.
Okay,
right. And so there has been a lot of things not working out for black actors in the Marvel universe. Yeah. So it's not just the fact that Mahershala Ali was promised a Blade movie and for some reason they couldn't write it or get it together. Remember when they promised Armored Wars?
Oh yeah.
For Don Cheadle. They canceled it. They filmed some of it and they canceled it.
And then it was supposed to be a TV show and they canceled that.
Right? And then what do they do? This happened to a lot of shows, but remember Ironheart? I mean, they don't owe this girl anything, but they just dropped them. They were just like, they didn't even advertise them, right?
And they're like, just get it out there.
And so, and you know what the horrible rumor going on with the latest, for Doomsday is that what's her face? I'm sorry to forget her name. I think it's Tiana Paris.
Okay.
The girl who plays Photon.
Oh, right.
There's no sign of her. She was not at Comic-Con. They had the whole cast up there. And so here's what I'm saying. She's the one who introduced the X-Men universe, because at the end of the Marvels, a notoriously horrible movie that I don't recommend to anybody, she fixes an incursion with her light powers, but she crash lands on the other side of the other dimension. And who does she wake up to? Dr. Beast. Right. In the X-Mansion with her. And so it introduced the idea that we were going to have some sort of X-Men crossover. She's nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Because Riri was enough for everyone. Even though there were parts of Ironheart I actually enjoyed. I told you this. I thought the Mephisto reveal was absolutely amazing. I love that. Was the best scene in that entire show. So okay. That part's done, right? And then we don't get Photon coming back. I'm sure she will be back in some capacity for that. But before we get to Hall H.
Okay.
Before we get there, right?
I'm sorry, I was so excited. I was just so damn excited.
It's good to be excited. We have to talk about something that we did not cover because we were on a hiatus. But we got to talk about X-Men 97.
We absolutely do. We absolutely do.
Talk about the fact that Apocalypse lifted Magneto up by his helmet, held him up in the air, and then said to Charles Xavier, "Go ahead, Charles. Lie to him. Tell him it's going to be okay."
Actually, you know what's crazy? In that episode, my favorite part, even though I loved a lot of parts of that movie, that whole episode was amazing. With the X-Men haggling back and forth and what they're going to do about Apocalypse. What's the ethical thing to do? Everyone has a different take. Nightcrawler's a Christian, so he says this is going against nature.
Right.
Beast is a scientist, so he's talking about how we shouldn't play with time. And right. It was really good. But the point is, my favorite part is after he defeats everybody and he's grown giant, and Xavier is without his wheelchair and he's in the sand, and Apocalypse walks up to him and he thinks it's over. Or Xavier thinks it's totally over for him. Right. And then he says, "Only a coward would call himself a god while crushing an ant." And he walks away.
Absolutely peak, man. That was probably the most gangster rendition we've ever seen of Apocalypse in any type of media. And keep in mind, the original X-Men show, the animated series, he was pretty gangster. My man picked up a freaking mutated rotundus elephant and flung it with no regard. I love that Kang was like, "Well, that's it for me, folks. Good luck with this situation," and freaking shattered. But what's really amazing to me about that whole thing, man, is controversial take. I was talking to Big Cat the other day. Bo DeMaio. Are we sure we want to cancel him?
This is what I said. You're the one who said Mantis. I said let's not cancel. As a matter of fact, you know what my idea for him is?
What's that?
Here's what it is. This is like James Gunn. When you're naughty, you get thrown out of one gig, right? But you can always go to the minors, aka DC. Why don't we get rid of James Gunn? Put Bo DeMaio in charge of DC. I bet he could do magic there, man. He could fix it all.
I agree with you, man. Was not very impressed with the Weapon X and VHS episode. I thought that was a poor.
I hated that episode. I hated
poor showing. Disrespectful to Wolverine and that entire story. Yeah.
Disrespectful to Team X. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Team X are basically during the 90s when they wanted to have flashbacks because they were retconning Wolverine's origin for the umpteenth time because they just decided to make some Yahoo pseudo superhero commandos follow him around, right? So they're not important characters. Maverick is not an important character. Kane is not an important character. But one of the things I don't like is to make that episode, the episode you're referring to,
right,
a parody of Aliens.
Oh yeah.
They made them have personalities and weaknesses that their characters don't have.
Yeah.
Like they have Maverick acting like Hicks, where he's freaking out. He's like, "It's game over, man! It's game over." Now, like I said, Maverick's not my boy, but he would never act like that.
No, that German would go out on his sword, man. And then it was just a crazy way to introduce Omega Red. It also was kind of disrespectful to one of my favorite original. What up, DT Dub over in Rumble TV? How y'all doing, man? Official again. Apology. I did see your Instagram message for missing the tournament, my brother. Dad life be dadding and work be working.
You know what's crazy? I was waiting for the Rumble kids to show up because I have a heartfelt apology to say.
Oh, okay. Do it.
I too didn't make the tournament. I was out. I was far from my computer. However, I should have scheduled better. If I disrupted the tournament in any way, I apologize to you guys. I love you. I understand if you want to hate me and cast me out like some sort of redheaded stepchild.
Redhead.
But another thing you have to understand is the reason why I didn't make the tournament is because my father was killed in a Mortal Kombat tournament when I was a child. This guy was playing Scorpion and he took his head right off.
You know what's crazy, man?
You see what I did there?
You know what's crazy, man, is DT actually helped me inadvertently get my Mortal Kombat 3 game working again. So I'm a pirate. And the first time we did the tournament, I got a key from a Fallacious Pace and installed it from Mortal Kombat from the Steam.
Wait, are you saying like the Mortal Kombat 3?
What? No.
You've seen the one from the 90s?
No, the game Mortal Kombat 11. I got a key.
Oh, okay.
I got a key for Mortal Kombat.
You're playing the one from the 90s, or?
I got a key for Mortal Kombat 11, and it stopped working for a while. But then I just did some doohickying on my computer.
You said key. I thought you said 3. Okay, I was like, what year is Grandpa Steve in right now?
Well, this is the good thing about us not being in a tournament. DT knows that we're old people, so he's like, he didn't want to have to explain to you how to, get into the chat and link up and all that stuff. That would have been worth it in itself, but. I digress. Our serious condolences, apologies, and
apologies, brother. Apologies.
Here's the next thing, man, about that episode with them doing an adaptation of Aliens. They actually ruined or touched one of my favorite episodes from X-Men, the original animated series. So season 2. Do you remember what episode it started off with? For that the animated series, it was a great episode.
Oh, you're saying for the original? I don't remember.
All right, so season 2, I remember watching with my cousins in Chicago, man, and it came on a late night on a Friday. It was the premiere episode for season 2, and it's the episode where Lady Deathstrike shows up, and her and Wolverine are fighting some energy-based alien that only their adamantium hurts, and it would suck your spirit out of you, and it was in the Warlock tunnels. One of the best episodes that show has ever produced. They reference it in this episode with Wolverine, the VHS one. And I'm like, why would you even bring that up? This is so inferior to that. And then we got Savage Wolverine, which wasn't one of my favorite arcs in the comic book. So I'm not going to act like I'm mad. We got him for like a brief moment.
Don't respect that. Don't respect that. They should have let that linger. And this annoys me about television, modern television.
Yeah.
Because here's what I'm saying. If you have balls and here's what I have to say. If you have balls, particularly if you do something in a season finale, you need to at least be ready to do it for at least half the season of the next thing, right? Yep. This was less than half the season. He's already got his adamantium back. They don't even have to deal with Savage Wolverine. He barely was a savage.
Right.
This is the same thing with Mandalorian and Grogu. Luke Skywalker takes Grogu, right? Mandalorian's alone. Very next episode, he comes back.
Yeah. And I told you, I fixed that last episode. I just shared something with you. Yes, Berling, I did see the new Marvel fighting game. I don't know if Mantis is up to speed, so I got it queued up here so you can see the trailer on this real quick. But just check this out, man, because Marvel might be firing on all cylinders. We got Wolverine coming out, and then we got, is this it? I believe this is it.
Allow me to introduce your glorious champions.
Enlarge that thing, man.
Avengers! The Unbreakable X-Men! The Amazing Guardians! The Knights of Doom! And...
Stay out of my face, lady! You mess
The
With the
Midnight
Ghost
Sun.
Rider, you'll end up as a ghost. All skill, no luck. Hey, Vamp, how about some help here?
I'll make this quick. Show me how much monster you've got. Don't blink. Here, take this. Got you. Weapon's hot. Ha. Nothing stops the more monster blade. Close your eyes. It's over.
They say I'm a legend, but I am also a ghost.
What's he doing? I was about to say, what's he doing in that jacket?
I've saved Asgard more times than I have threatened it. Honestly. No, really.
Beauty God! No!
Oh,
dislike my rattling
Tibetan
tongue,
Hulk.
beast. You will not survive.
Oh, I like this.
My
They probably have a lot of different skins and stuff.
Whoa!
Rage quitting is the ultimate fighting game sim. Let me check out some strats. And now time resumes. It's
What is this
me,
game called?
The FGC's favorite. How's this pose?
Lock it up.
Marvel Potion Fighting Souls.
Hey, chat.
Okay.
Somebody clip that.
Yeah.
So elegant. Random
Looks
bullshit
amazing,
vote.
right?
Yo, it looks really good.
Yeah, so Marvel is showing out right now, as DT says, man, and also they just released the official story trailer for the Wolverine game. So things are going good, man. Things are going really good over at Marvel. One bad episode of X-Men 97. I think it was a return to form for the Polaris episode. Not a character I would have spent a great deal of time on, but I know Polaris is wildly popular with some people.
Remember, this show is trying to encapsulate the 90s, and she was way bigger in the 90s.
Yeah.
There were, there's something 90s about that green-haired freak. In general, they're killing it. They're doing good. Yeah, I'm saying we've had 6 episodes and only one sucks.
Yeah,
they'll take it.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't realize that they had not introduced Omega Red before.
Well, you saw him briefly in season 1, towards the end of the season when they were fighting all the human sentinels and stuff like that, but it was just really brief. This way they introduced.
I'm surprised the old cartoon didn't either, but once again, I have not seen that in many years.
They did have Omega Red in the old cartoon. It was actually the episode where Wolverine is trying to find Captain America, who's still frozen.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an odd episode too, but still really good. But shout out to Marvel, man. Animated series are looking good. Games are looking good. Now we just got to talk about Hall H and the premiere, not of Blade, but of Ghost Rider.
Yeah. So here's what it is. This is a fan cast that people have talked about for years. It's been years that people will say this dude needs to play Ghost Rider. Now, I don't know how people come up with fan casts,
Right?
Because look, I love Ryan Gosling. He's a white kid who could play anybody.
Right.
Why people landed on Ghost Rider, I'm not sure I understand, but it's okay. That's fine. But finally, they made it happen. Now, he has a huge hit movie this year. I'm sure that's helping the situation with Project Hail Mary. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was amazing.
No, I haven't seen it. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, though.
So now his star has risen. It's time. Marvel needed something in the, they needed to change the conversation, because all the conversation about Marvel was they don't have it the way they used to have it.
Right. So Ryan Gosling apparently has wanted to play Ghost Rider for quite some time.
Oh, that's probably where they got it. That's where they made that call.
Yeah, this is something he's wanted, and they premiered it. I'm not mad at it. I actually am a Ghost Rider fan. I like Johnny Blaze. I like Vengeance. I like the whole crew. I always thought that was a great era in comics, the Dark Knights and all that type of stuff, man. I just want to see what they're going to do with it. I would have loved some test footage or anything. I did enjoy Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Danny character.
That was Robbie Reyes, right?
Robbie Reyes,
right. Yeah. The muscle car. Actually, here's what it is. I don't like Robbie Reyes, and it has nothing to do with like his Ghost Rider. I just feel like Ghost Rider works way better with a flaming motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like there's something so badass about a motorcycle riding on hell flames, which is so next level. And the muscle car just doesn't really work for me. Right. But yeah, you know what? The 3 Ghost Riders have been Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, and then Robbie Reyes. I honestly think that because Nicolas Cage played Johnny Blaze, I'm willing to bet that he's gonna be Danny. He's gonna be Daniel Ketch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would make the most sense. Also, the Robbie Reyes character, it wasn't really a Ghost Rider in the traditional sense. It was like his demonic uncle possessed him, and it was like a bunch of convoluted stuff. But people were excited about it. People in Hall H were genuinely excited about it. And then I think we got the biggest reveal of the night. Well, should we just play the clip of the reveal of Black Panther, because it kind of
I mean, obviously you feel so inspired that we need to show or allow our listeners on Riz Radio to hear it, so let's do it.
Bro, I got a little choked up, man. I have a strange
choked up.
Yeah, I did, man.
I got concerned.
Oh my goodness, why?
I don't know how they're gonna, like, I don't know what language they're speaking. What year does this take place in? Is he a time traveler? What is going on? See, I'm worried about plot details. What does it make any sense?
Oh, you know what? Let me see here. Well, okay, so that's
wait, hold on. Did you just get the audience revved up for the idea of seeing a clip and you don't have the clip?
The thing you need to understand is I have a bunch of windows open to make this possible. Right. And like cycling through the windows becomes a task in itself, right? Let's see here. Well, I have one with music, but we'll do it without the music. Let's see. Share screen. Instagram, share, and there we go.
I want to say thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Evan.
Look, he was trying to hide his British
This
accent.
amazing family that I have the honor and the privilege and blessing to join.
Yeah, man. The internet. So there's a few different things going on here, my brother. So one thing is everyone wanted that kid Idris, right? You know who?
Right. Yeah, Damson Idris.
Yeah, Damson Idris. You know who he's currently involved with? The Harvey
in a relationship?
Yeah, he's involved with Steve Harvey's daughter, who was formerly involved with Michael B. Jordan. So of course, this caused a big buzz on the internet. Everyone wanted this guy, and they're like, the reason he didn't get hired is because Coogler is tight like spandex
with Michael B. Jordan. Okay, it's all making sense.
And to that I say, damn right, I do that for you, bro. I don't care how dope an actor the guy is. If he's dating your ex, he could be a powerhouse in Hollywood. They send him my way, and I'm just like, we'll give him a call back.
Right. See, here's that's so funny because I would have loved Damson Idris for this, but here's what I'm saying. You know what this kid? You've seen his other work?
Yeah, he was in what was it? Alien, Romulus, was it?
Right.
And then that's about it. That's all I know him from.
Yeah. So he's also in the show Industry, where he plays the gay stockbroker or whatever. But the whole point is the main thing I want to focus on is Alien Romulus, right? He's a cold, calculating psychopath in that. So, and then between these two roles that I've seen him in, I just don't see hero on him unless he has. Here's what I'm saying. He could clearly have hidden talents. Remember, no one knew Heath Ledger had a secret psychopath in him, right?
Right.
Because he's normally a romantic comedy pretty boy. So for all I know, I don't know what this kid is capable of. But I'm just saying, I don't know this kid to be necessarily a leading man type.
Right. I think so. As soon as you said that, all we know of him is, sadistic, cold, calculating psychopath. T'Challa is sadistic. He's calculating. He's quite cool. I don't know about the other part, but I think he's going to do great. And I understand your question as into how's this going to work. So obviously, at the end of Wakanda Forever, we see that Shuri goes to visit T'Challa's love interest, and who's living in Haiti. And then Shuri's finally dealing with the trauma of T'Challa and both her mother dying, and she's sitting down on the beach, and T'Challa's love interest, whose name I forget right now, shows up to the beach with a little boy, and she's like, I want to introduce you to this bop. And And then she asks him, you have to be really deep into the actual Black Panther movie lore, not the comic book, to understand the references and callbacks. It's really simple stuff. She says to the little boy in Wakandan, what is your name? Who are you? The same, using the same phrase they asked Killmonger, who are you? When he showed up to friggin' Wakanda, and he says, I am T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. And I just remember that one part in the movie. I was just like, oh man, that's so beautiful, because they can't undo not recasting him. But I'll deal with this, right? I'll deal with this. And this has nothing to do with misogyny. It's just like, I need the Shuri era to come to an end, because it wasn't a long epic in the comic, right? It was a very brief.
It was very short. It was very brief. I agree. She shouldn't hold the mantle for 6 more movies. I don't even like her being in Doomsday as Black Panther.
Yeah.
But my personal opinion is I think Wakanda Forever was just a mess across the board. And once again, this is not to say anything against Ryan Coogler, because he's made a million great movies, right?
Yeah.
The thing is because, no one could have predicted what would happen with his star, with his leading man. Right. But they created all these crazy plot points that I'm just like, I do not feel comfortable. Like, for instance, to have her hiding his son for that long. Look, the kid was clearly like 8 years old, right?
Right.
That means during the first Black Panther, he was alive and she was hiding it from him.
So let's see. The time jump is during the blip, right? So how long did the blip last?
Oh, I didn't factor in blip time. Yeah. Blip adds 5, right?
Yeah, blip adds 5. So he looked about 5 or 6 years old, maybe 7 the most.
So maybe the kid was probably conceived when they were celebrating winning Black Panther 1.
Yes. I know it's not everyone's favorite plot point, but here's the thing, man. The only other thing they could do now is really test the fans and really test themselves. If they wouldn't have made this move, it would have had to have been a recast and then a reality jumping Black Panther. And I'm going to tell you why that's not going to work now, because Kevin Feige, according to the internet, has come out and said Marvel is not rebooting after Secret War.
Right.
So none of that stuff,
Maybe. Well, here's what it is. Hold on. So actually, let's talk about that for just a quick second. We're not necessarily leaving Black Panther territory, but he said he's not rebooting. He's resetting, right? And so, for instance, this is an example of a reset. People just want their Black Panther named T'Challa. And he's giving us that, right? He's giving us the way that he can. He's like, it'll be a son. Boom. Solved, right? Instead of having someone replace. So here's the funny thing. They took Armored Wars. Remember we talked about Armored Wars?
Yeah.
They are remaking it into a movie, but for Tony Stark.
I don't like that at all.
But the question is, where's Tony Stark? Who are they talking about? Who's going to play this dude? What is happening?
You guys are finally going to get Tom Cruise, Tony Stark. You've been clamoring for it. You said you wanted it, so now it's coming, bro.
You think he'd give like a doppelganger a movie?
No, I don't think so at all, man. Here's what I think is going to happen, man. Robert Downey Jr. is definitely too old to continue playing Tony Stark, but I do believe what's going to happen next is that we are going to get Tony Stark coming back to defeat
Doomsday or
Dr. Doom. And then what we'll get next is more than likely Armor Wars with the recasting of Iron Man, which I'm not totally opposed to. I'm just not. Like, some of these characters do need to be recast because
these guys are old. These guys are old. We need F this, man.
And it's like, you just got to rip the Band-Aid at a certain point, right? You got to rip the Band-Aid, because if you don't, we're going to be stuck in this perpetual loop of making actors who are damn near 60, right?
Well, it's like Star Wars. I know everybody loves Star Wars, right? But, those motherfuckers were old in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And people get upset when they're like, "Oh, they didn't give Luke Skywalker a great lightsaber fight." My man can barely walk. I'm feeling you, man. I feel you. I'm pro total reboot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know what? They messed up on a couple of things. Like, to be honest, I know I said that I like this last Fantastic Four, but it's only I like it in comparison.
Right.
I'm just saying they could have done a way better Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, they could have done 100% done a way better Fantastic Four movie. I think it was a strong showing for them considering some of the flops we got. I definitely enjoyed Thunderbolts more than this, but I thought Fantastic Four was visually beautiful. Some weird editing choices in the movie at certain points where clear parts have been completely gouged out
Yes.
of the movie.
Yes.
But in regards to this, man, in regards to what we got with Black Panther, let's see. Right, I'm going to see Doomsday, and this is going to touch on a topic we're going to get into when we get into our Odyssey review. I am officially not letting anyone, you included, talk me out of going to see this movie. Not that you would be on there, right? I'm not going to let any leftists, any righties. You know what? I am taking a fast from no, not even a fast. I'm taking a staunch stand on let's make comic media and media fun again, right? Let's kick all these people out who are not entirely sure they care about any of these properties. What up, Carmen? What up? What up? What up?
Carmen.
Let's kick all these people out, right? I don't care if you have social commentary. It's your God-given right. It's your American right to free speech, to shit on stuff and talk bad about it if you like. I'm just not going to be involved in the conversation during this little epic here. You know, the Elliot Page, Achilles debacle thing. It almost took it out.
You see how it was nothing, right? At the end of the day, it was nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing for at all. Carmen says Wakanda forever.
But so before we get into our Odyssey review, let's talk about the final thing that we need to talk. Well, two things we need to talk about, and they're just not as big. So those were the two big announcements. We got Black Panther 3, and we've got Ghost Rider the movie, right?
Right.
Both come out in the same year, 2027. No, 2028.
Right.
So, but the other things they had to talk about were Spider-Man Brand New Day, which we know is just coming out in like 2.5 days, basically, right?
I'm ready. I'm ready for Spider-Man, man. And I'm going into this recognizing, and I want you to remember this too. This is Spider-Man we're talking about. He's just a step above swashbuckling, right? This is street level Spider-Man. This is what you people have been clamoring about.
This is what we want to see.
Yeah, this is what you people have been clamoring about. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it wasn't epic enough. It didn't feel like there was any real stakes.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand.
Not you. I'm talking about the psychopaths, man.
Right. There are two characters I don't like meddling in the cosmic realm, and it's Spider-Man and it's Batman. No. I get that they're popular and they want them to participate with all the other superheroes, but I prefer, I prefer Batman hunting down a serial killer, and I prefer Spider-Man fighting some sort of mad scientist that's taken over the Staten Island ferry than him in space.
Okay, so I just agree with you there only in regards to the Batman thing. Spider-Man is not equipped for spacefaring adventures. Batman is Batman, and you put some respect on his name. That's not a scenario he's not ready for.
Are you saying this to me?
I'm saying ever since you showed me that video where it broke down that Batman is in fact God tier. Do you remember showing me that?
Yes, I do remember that because I never had to convince you.
Yeah. When you showed me that video, real quick, DT Dub says that they're thinking about doing a Spider-Man watch party in Discord. You pirates, you live your best life.
Yeah, after I see it in theaters, I'll also join you in the Discord because I'll probably want to see that multiple times. But so you are on. So I actually convinced you of something in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow,
Batman.
Oh wow, I didn't know you listened.
Most of the time I don't. I just nod my head because I saw a human do that once. Who cares what my actual medical diagnosis is? But street level Spider-Man, I'm looking forward to this, man. I already know what is going to annoy me about the movie, and I just let it go because it happened in the comics too. And I forgot this happened in the comics. Hulk is nerfed. We gotta deal with it, right? But he was nerfed in the comic books. For many years, he got nerfed. He got nerfed into the Gray Hulk and all this other stuff. But we're gonna see, Marvel's Hulk fighting Spider-Man. We get Punisher, the PG-13 version.
Yo, okay. So, question for you, buddy, man.
Yeah.
Are you nailed to the cross that Sadie Sink is Jean Grey?
No, I'm not nailed. I mean, I'm not as heavily invested as you are, but
why are you not invested? I don't get it. I thought you were an X-Men fan.
because that's how you walk into a movie theater. You leave it disappointed. I'd be fine if it was Firestar.
So, one, you're crazy. Two, all I'm expecting is that there be secret cameos by Jean Grey, Daredevil, Nova, Moon Knight, all the Midnight Suns, Blade returns, old Blade returns from the old universe. I want the Sinister 12 there. And basically, I want an X-rated sex scene between Zendaya and Tom Holland. Is that too much to ask for?
I think you're borderline. Maybe pushing it on that one.
Then I'm gonna storm out of this movie if I don't get all that checklist.
You knock some poor kid's popcorn out of his hand. I didn't get to see any in this PG-13 movie.
Here's what I'm gonna say. This is so smart of Marvel. They don't realize what they've had or what they've done.
Right.
If it is Jean Grey, people are gonna go wild. If it is not Jean Grey, people are gonna go wild in a different way.
Okay.
But their minds will be blown because so many people are convinced that it's her. That if this redheaded chick is some other character, people are gonna they're gonna go nuts. And every scooper out on Twitter are gonna lose their jobs basically. No one will listen to it anymore.
DT says, I hope they just outright say that Doom looks like Tony Stark and not just ignore it in Doomsday. You know, I want them. Okay, let me pull myself out together and we'll get right back to Spider-Man. So, Berlin, there is a whole thing on the internet of them on YouTube of them breaking down the video, the trailer for Doomsday, and specifically Screen Rant gets into the fact that clearly they're pulling the old school Marvel okey doke on us. We think the big reveal is Steve Rogers and Thor, let Steve Rogers summon the hammer, but they've broken this trailer down so much that they're like, no, it's clearly a cut. And they think that's when he sees Doom or something, and that's why he says that's not possible. So they might,
Oh, right, exactly. That not possible is clearly not the same scene when he hands him the hand, or where he takes summons the hammer.
Right.
But here's the thing: I wouldn't be surprised because remember, Robert Downey Jr. is getting his money anyway; he doesn't care.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they don't do the face thing until Secret Wars.
Really? Like they just don't reveal it and we just have to deal with it. Rogue Radio, welcome in.
Welcome in, Rogue. It has been too long. She says, what up, bros? I miss you so much more, but this is not a competition. We're talking about Comic-Con and Hall H and everything Marvel's been talking about.
Right.
But here's what I'm saying. If I were the writer of this movie, I would not go into the face of Doom until Secret Wars. Make the audience wait.
Yeah, make the audience.
Kind of real.
I'd be okay with that. Now back to Spider-Man.
No. Real. Oh, okay. We'll do back to Spider. We'll be back to Spider-Man, but we got to get back to Avengers. Go.
No. What were we gonna say? It sounded like a hot take. Go ahead.
So I have some predictions. I have some predictions that I don't think a lot of people are talking about.
Okay.
First prediction. So obviously you've seen the poster with Doctor Doom and the planet, and there's a woman with a child.
Yes.
I believe Doctor Doom comes from another dimension where his wife is Sue Storm, and Franklin was his kid.
Oh, so you think they're jumping right into the God Doom part of when he takes Reed's family? Okay.
Yes. Okay. I think that's going to be part of the whole thing. Think about it. Doctor Doom, when he makes contact with them, he goes straight to Franklin.
Right.
He doesn't talk to the adults. For starters, I would think it was a pedo because he's talking to a little kid. The only reason that scene would be all right is if that's the doppelganger of his son. Right?
That makes sense. I can dig that. I can dig that, man.
And then also, obviously, they need that rivalry that, we need, because here's what it is. If they don't have a past rivalry, we don't know if they're going to do that or not.
Right.
With him and Reed, we need some reason. And what's a better thing to fight over than pussy?
It is the number one commodity to fight over. You know what's crazy about this though, man? So the trailer for Doomsday in itself, I thought it was actually a really good trailer. What we finally got, man. I love that everything's centering around Thor. I love the reveal of Gambit and friggin' Shang-Chi. I'm happy to see
that looks
Shang-Chi
good.
back.
That looks good.
Looks very good. I love to see Mystique. I love that we're getting some matchmaking here, right? We got Mystique, who doesn't look great, but we got Mystique.
She looks like a mutant Karen. She looks like she's about to ask for the mutant manager. Yeah, with that haircut.
But we got some good matchmaking here. You know, we got Shang-Chi versus Gambit. Then we got
So good.
Mystique
Looks so
versus the new Black Widow. Think that's going to be great. There's going to be some shenanigans going on in this movie because we also got to get into some power scaling, right? So we got Sentry over in the corner. You know, his powers are going to be re-revealed. We're going to have Red Hulk come back at some point during this movie, right? There's going to be some wacky matchups. And if you're
remember, wait, hold on. Just remember, you know, if everyone don't count all the chickens for Doomsday, because remember, Doomsday is part 1 of 2.
Yeah.
And so remember, they can always save stuff. And so if somebody complains like Captain Marvel or Doctor Strange wasn't in this one, well, they'll be in the next one, I promise you.
Exactly. Real quick, are you going to go see the re-release of Endgame? Because I'm probably going to go check that out.
I am, because you've heard they're adding 7 minutes to it, including a scene that involves the Fantastic Four, which is like, it's basically redoing an entire movie.
I mean, I just got to say, man, I know Infinity War is the one people enjoy more than Endgame, but Endgame really was, in my mind, one of the greatest bookends that you could present for a saga. Like, I don't think I did not walk out of that movie theater disappointed. I didn't walk out of my living room disappointed when I watched it like 18 times when it finally came to digital. I thought that was a great movie, man, and I'm looking forward to the re-release.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good time watching it, and I won't feel like I'm cheated.
Yeah, and that's you know what, there it is right there, man. You touched on the foundation of what we're talking about tonight. Having a good time, going to see movies again, right? You know, you and I, we have our views. And, you know, we'll die on the hill of our views. If something is overtly pushing a message that does not have anything to do with it, I'm probably going to say something. Am I going to make 12 videos about it? No. Will I make an entire YouTube career about dunking on Marvel and all the social commentary that comes to it? But I did say, did I not call it on this very channel that the bubble was going to burst at some point on the stranglehold that right-leaning commentators had on this medium, man? I really do think we're getting to a place where people are just like, so what, bro?
Yeah, you know, people's screams of woke are meaningless at this point.
Exactly.
Let us judge for ourselves what's woke. Which brings me to my second prediction. Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Thor's dead.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna die in that fight with Dr. Doom.
Yeah, he's most certainly gonna bite it. I believe that. I would be surprised if he doesn't die, but I think he does bite it finally in this one.
Yeah, because I think they're
talking a movie for him, didn't they?
Sorry,
they are greenlighting another Thor movie, aren't they?
So here's what it is. No, wait, hold on, time out. They did before, but that's when they thought they had mountains and mountains to play with. Now they're being very discerning what movies they make, right? They're not. Before, they used to throw everyone a movie. You get a movie, and you get a movie. Hey, janitor, you get a fucking movie. These idiots. I could have told them that was bad business. But it looks like here's what it is. At a certain point when things were going bad, Kevin Feige said everything we said was going to happen is stopping. We will let you know what we're going to continue with, which is why them saying Black Panther 3 is such a big deal.
Right.
Because they haven't even greenlit like Thunderbolts 2, Doctor Strange 3. We need a Doctor Strange 3, right? For anything to make sense. So we don't, anything can go. Movies can go, things can, they're only going to make movies that they think are going to be profitable at this point.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't shit gold anymore.
Yeah,
but so since he's, I think it might be doubtful he's going to get his own movie. But here's what I'm saying: another movie. But he's been in the game so long, and also if you just look at the trailer, he's making speeches about his old dead friends, and he's so positive, and he's a ray of hope. And also, this is comic book 101. When the new villain shows up, what's he got to do? He's got to utterly defeat or kill a character you think is a badass.
Exactly. It's the Wolverine Gambit. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Whenever the X-Men have to introduce a new character, they're like, who can we have him son up? That
and it's Wolverine. They meet the person. Wolverine preemptively attacks them, and the person beats him up. And then the kids say, "Oh, well, this guy must be powerful because he beat up Wolverine."
Exactly. And then you realize, oh wait, Jim Lee just needed to do something here. But yeah, I like that, man. I do think Thor is gonna bite it, man.
Third prediction. This has probably been all over the place. It's probably really unoriginal by the time I'm saying this, but I certainly came up with it independently. I want you to know. One of the Doom Witches, whoever the leader Doom Witch is, it's going to be Scarlet Witch.
Oh, are you talking about the Black Swans?
So I don't know if they're going to call them Black Swans, but have you heard? So manning the Marvel booth at Comic-Con, each day they had a different color, what they call Latvian witches.
Okay, gotcha.
And they have different colored robes, and they also have silver masks. And there's a red one, a green one, a gold one, a purple one. And I have a feeling, I bet you anything, the red one is going to be a Scarlet Witch. I just feel there's going to be some sort of reveal. It's going to be her or somebody we already know or care about.
No, that makes sense. And I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what else would be fairly interesting as well? I just have a video that's showing all the Hall H announcement for movies. But you know what else would be really cool? I hope that they do the Black Swans, because I thought or Black Swan herself, thought they was such a cool part to add into that whole story, man. It was just absolutely amazing. And I love that at the end of that whole thing, the Thanos's cabal, I forget their actual proper name, but they take Black Swan in and they become like an evil version of the Guardians of the Galaxy at one point.
Oh, that's funny. What is it? The Obsidian Hand?
Yeah. All right, so let's look and see. You got me up? Let's see here.
Year, connect the two. I love this. But before we get Doomsday at the end of this year, same month, but before, we're getting Vision Quest in December. So early December, and no real information or trailer for it yet, but it's coming out before Doomsday. Then, here we go, December 18th is Doomsday. And it's what we're all waiting for. San Diego Comic-Con was littered with this everywhere, gas lamp. What do you want me to say? Then next year, March, kicking off 2027, Daredevil Born Again, Season 3. Elektra's going to be in it. Another brand new Daredevil suit, more red on there. I cannot wait for this. The MCU is looking good right now. I mean, look at this. Because then December of next year, 2027, we're getting Avengers Secret Wars, and that's probably going to have Battle World, Black Suit Spider-Man, more X-Men, like everything. Like the kitchen sink is being thrown with this movie. This is like resetting the MCU in a lot of ways. And apparently, as Feige said it, they're going to follow Jonathan Hickman's roadmap from the comic books, which is very exciting. Then in 2028, July 2028, we're going to get Ghost Rider starring Ryan Gosling, directed by Sean Levy. Let's freaking go. Then at the end of 2028, Black Panther 3, dude. Black freaking Panther 3, starring David Johnson as T'Challa 2. Finishing this off for summer 2029, our first MCU X-Men film. Oh my God, I can't wait for casting.
29. You realize it's
is
only 3 years,
Jean
bro?
Grey? Is she gonna be Jean in that movie? I cannot wait, dude. The future looks bright for the MCU, guys. They were kind of going up and down the last 8 or so years.
Oh, wait,
but
hold on.
This is a solid.
Pause it for a sec. He's saying the future looks bright. No. The future looks bright if these next 2 or 3 movies are good.
Right.
Because Avengers could still suck.
Right.
Avengers could still suck. I am worried. I'm skeptical. So here's what I'm saying. I want it to be good, so I'm putting my money on good. However, I could see us walking out and saying, "What the fuck was that?"
Yes. It's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be okay. It all works out in the end for those who have faith in the Lord. And I don't mean Kevin Feige. I mean God.
Of course. Well, that was weird.
Speaking of worried, just a little sidestep before we get to the Odyssey. Did you even know that they had released a trailer for Rings of Power Season 3?
No, but you showed it. I saw it in the bin of items you sent me, the assets. And I'm going to say something like this. I have to hand it to Prime. I have to really hand it to Prime. And so here's the thing: a lot of people flinch when they're getting canceled by everybody. The left and the right hate the show, right? It's not just this isn't just conservatives being assholes. This is everyone just kind of is like, we reject the show.
Right.
And I have to say, the stubbornness on them to keep going with this thing. And here's the thing, guys, I'm still watching it. But here's what it is. I'm not a diehard Tolkien man like Steve is over here.
Yeah.
So I'm not as offended. Some things offend me. Some things do offend me, but I'm saying I'm still watching. I'll definitely watch the third season. It's a high production show, definitely.
Yeah. And you know what? I get it for free. So why wouldn't I watch it?
Right. So that's the thing, guys. When people say, what streamers do you have? And it pisses me off when people don't mention Prime. You should all have Prime. You know why? The money you put down for free shipping alone pays for itself.
Yes.
Right. But I have to hand it to them. I'm really impressed that they keep going with this. I'm ready to watch the third season,
Well, after you watch this trailer, we'll see what you think about that, because I was like, I don't know what is happening right now. So here you go, buddy.
What am I still?
Now is the mighty hour come. The Dark Lord is on the brink of crafting a new power. One reign to rule them all. He's got armies scouring Middle-earth. Middle-earth will burn. Has it not yet occurred to you? Death might well be the price of saving it. Trying to get back to you.
Oh, let me pause it right there. I thought that dude was her brother. I didn't know.
Isn't it Sauron?
No. You know how this whole thing kicks off with her losing someone extremely close to her during the first war with Morgoth?
Right.
Apparently, unless I'm looking at this trailer wrong, that's the same guy. And I thought that was her brother. And the reason I thought that was her brother is because when they're in elf heaven, right, he's talking to her as a child. But apparently, if this is the same character, elf heaven is a place where groomers live and wait for a little immortal elf to come of age. So,
yeah, we're going to review it in just a minute.
There are no friends of Mordor here. Come with me. The Dark Lord. We have to stop him. The shadow rises to Middle-earth. How would you like to rise with it?
Yep. There you go.
I'm not disgusted by anything in this trailer. Why would you think I'd be disgusted by this?
Well, because a lot of people were just like, one, they didn't even know they would drop in a trailer. Two, they were like, what the hell is going on? Three, they made the same exact point that you made, that Amazon is like, we don't care if you watch it or not. We paid for the rights. It's coming out.
Yeah. My only guess is that some sort of contractual thing forces them to finish like at least 3 or 4 seasons, right?
Yeah. Right.
They like you said, they paid for it, so they're gonna have to go through with it, right? But yeah, they could market it better. They could certainly market it better. But here's what I'm saying. I had a good time last season. Did you have a good time last season?
I did, actually. I thought the siege of Celebrimbor's home was actually. Yeah, it was intense. It was intense. There were some definite clear misses, like at the end, the final battle between the elves and Sauron was kind of like weak, like in scale. And then the very end of her Galadriel standing up on top of the mountain with the king of the elves, and they're like, "We will persevere." I was like, eh.
This is one of the reasons. This is one of the things that like why I can't really get into Lord of the Rings, and you know why it is?
Why is that?
There's certain characters that are so OP, they're like better than everyone else.
Right.
And Gandalf and her are two examples of that.
Yeah.
Where you like, they're on one thing, they're like, I have this character and he's a hobbit and he likes to eat 5 times a day and he's short and he's annoying. And then I have this guy and he's a god. He has godlike powers and he resurrects himself. And I'm like, what is going, like, how do you, I can't even reconcile this thing. You know, one of the problems I have with this chick is she's got every skill, everything. She's a fighter. She's a wizard.
Right.
She's hot. No, her only weakness is she can't pick a man to save her life.
No. Yeah, like going down as the pick me for the friggin' Dark Lord is a wild way to be remembered. I agree with you. There's definitely some scaling issues in OP characters. Also, Lord of the Rings has deeper meaning to it, a very deep Christian tradition, which
Right.
they just really aren't going to touch in the Amazon series, right? And I remember the other day I was watching something and they were talking about the relationship of Tolkien and friggin' C.S. Lewis, you know, how they got to know each other and how some of that is represented in the relationship between Sam and Frodo. And of course, the internet being the internet, everyone, you know, people like Grace Randolph, they're like, oh, they're gay. There's
Right.
tension there. No, it's literally about two guys inspired by people during times of war and the brotherhood of war and the bonds of going
Right.
through war. So
I got that like that kind of love. It's true. At first you're like, are these guys gay? And it's like, no, this is based off of like this guy who's seen war and he knows what a real friendship is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to be able to touch any of that stuff on the Amazon series, but I'm going to watch it, man. There were some things I enjoyed last season. I want to see the High Humans. Oh, for the love of God, their names escape me right now, but you know, where the Queen came from, the Black Queen, which really upset a lot of people.
Oh, that island. You know, I actually like the storyline going on in the Island Nation. I keep
because-
forgetting what they're called.
Yeah, it completely escapes me, but that place entirely
The High Humans, whatever. You know, there's elves. These are the High Humans or whatever. Yeah.
That place completely is a cautionary tale, like Icarus, of ascending, you know, becoming haughty and full of pride.
Flying too close to the sun.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that in this season. And this whole thing wraps with the very first battle we see in Peter Jackson's rendition of Lord of the Rings, which is the battle against Sauron when he.
Oh, I can't wait! I cannot wait.
So I you know, we got plenty of time to watch this thing play out, but you know, let's get to what the people really.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Rogue Radio says, "Is Stepdaddy in it, aka the Ranger?" So no, it's this is unfortunately probably what 1,000 years before he's on the scene. We'll let you know though. But there's also other rugged men. Like for instance, there's the Caramel Elf.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's Dominican playing an elf. It's impressive. All the ladies love that dude. Everyone loves the Caramel Elf.
You know what's crazy is that they are doing another Lord of the Rings movie, and everyone got recast except for Vigo, who bowed out graciously because he's
I like that.
I can't do this anymore. But Orlando Bloom is somehow still kicking, so he's coming back. So we will see a new version of Strider. And
which is the Ranger she talked about, but she doesn't want to see old Strider. She wants to see young, rugged Strider.
The Odyssey.
We've got to talk about it. Finally, you've seen it. I've seen it. The world has seen it. It's already made close to $700 million in just 2 weekends. Yet somehow idiots, used to like him, Tyrone Magnus and his other incel squad, they're trying to claim that like the studio's paying for tickets. There's empty theaters. That is just not even remotely true.
Yeah, it's crazy. As of right now, it's according to the AI, it's at 652 million worldwide. I do believe it's going to hit 1 billion. They're saying that it's because of the inflated prices for the IMAX ticket, which money is money, however you count it, right? And
yes.
People are really sore that it got a higher rating than The Return of the King on Rotten Tomatoes. They're saying that they're using bots and all these things. So does this mean it's the end of Go Woke, Go Broke? Take it, Mantis.
Okay, so the answer is no. And so here's the difference. I'm going to say it. this movie is not woke. There is difference between having a little representation and wokeness. And wokeness is like forced representation. Like, for instance, do you remember that video game? What was it? Bespoke?
Right. Yes.
Where they're like, we should make the character a racially ambiguous female who talks urban, and wields magic and uses all the most trendy words nowadays. That game bombed. That video game definitively bombed, right? Because they knew that executives were forcing this crap on them, right? In this case, he casted Helen and her sister as black chicks, and he had a trans person play a soldier for less than 2 minutes of screen time.
Boy, there's some deep commentary on that too. I don't know if you know who Jonathan Pajot is, but he has a show on YouTube called the Divine Art or something like that. But he's an Orthodox Christian who does iconography. Jeez. And this guy's a great commentator. I really respect him. He's as Christian as they come. And he thinks that Nolan planted a Trojan horse within a Trojan horse for commentary in regards to the whole Ellen Page thing. So he believes that a possibility is that the character that Ellen Page is playing, right, gets drafted into the war because a man refuses to own up to his duties, and that this is a meta commentary that they send a trans man in to get slaughtered.
So, this is similar to Michael Knowles' thing. So Michael Knowles' thing, because here's the thing: Sinon wasn't in the Iliad or the Odyssey, but he was in the Aeneid, which is actually a Roman thing writing about it, right? And then later on, Sinon is in Dante's Inferno or Dante's Divine Comedy, right?
Right.
And Sinon is in the place in hell that Sinon is in is for the fraudsters,
right?
And so why is this? Because Sinon is the one who led everyone to the Trojan horse. Sinon said this is a gift from our god Poseidon,
right?
It's you have defeated us. Take it. And so Sinon sold this whole lie. And so Michael Knowles cuts this theory that he's like, I find it interesting. The ultimate fraudster in the story who's going to hell.
Right.
Is trans.
So, and then I heard another interesting take over in Rumble. Res Truth Pod says, Carmen lied to me. I was told a praying mantis would be speaking. There is a mantis speaking, but he is.
Behold, friendo, the fat mantis is here, giving you wisdom. What truth do you seek, friend?
What truth?
I can tell you all about it.
I do love the fact that
it's killing it, Rogue.
No, I do love the fact that so I went to go see this movie with the missus, right? And she actually wanted to see it. She was like, I heard it's beautiful. Let's go check it out. Just my overall quick pitch and review of the movie, give it a 7.5, even possibly an 8. That it was just a good piece of cinema. If I wasn't looking at any social issues, any social commentary, and in case for qualifying reasons, I was not for the race swapping of Ellen Page. The race swapping of Helen of Troy. I am consistent in this way, in the most important way, right? This is not my story, right? This is the stories of the Greeks. And apparently the Greeks still care about this story. It's a 2,000-year-old story. So, I want them to be represented. Let me finish, my brother, because you're going to love this. So
I wasn't about to interrupt you.
I did a little research. I went back to see all the versions of the Odyssey that had ever been released in cinema.
Okay.
I count one possible ethnic Greek in all of these movies. And then I said, let me do a little bit more perusing. Let's look at any reenactments of anything to do with the Romans. I didn't see anyone that resembled what a Roman would look like. You know what I saw? A bunch of British people playing Greek, playing Rome. Right. And so to that I say, let us never forget the Greeks. Let's get some ethnic Greeks in some of these movies. But otherwise than that, it's Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. That is true. he took some creative licenses with, some creative liberties with the telling of this story. In case you don't know, it's a poem and it's in books. And I thought that it was a great movie because it really does touch on something that really tugged at my heart, man. I have not seen Oppenheimer, but based off of this movie, I saw exactly what Nolan was doing, or at least what I feel he was doing. He painted Odysseus as if he was a true historic figure, and there's some debate about that. And if Odysseus is a true historic figure, he changed the course of warfare. And I love that they touched on that. He took the moment of hospitality and the moment of the naivety of ancient war and turned it on its head. You and I both love the Hellenistic period of Greece, and we love the Mesopotamian period of Greece. You remember the first conflict the Greeks had with the Romans? Or one of the first conflicts?
I don't.
Okay, so you know how back in the day in war, it was like, hey, it's 12 o'clock. We've been warring since 7 in the morning. It's time for both sides to retreat. And we're
going to go have a snack.
Yeah, we'll get back to war tomorrow. Do you know what the Romans did when they saw the Greeks do that? They were like, oh, they're retreating. How odd. We must be winning. Ride them down. Kill them all. This was a pivotal moment in the way war was fought. And I saw that in the Odyssey, man, especially throughout the entire movie.
The historical stuff. Absolutely. Oh, my God. That's so well put, man. Because a lot of people who don't know the history, they don't understand that these of war veterans who are raiding the different villages are going to become the Romans. They're going to be led by Romulus and Remus to be the founders of Rome.
It's so crazy. The foundation of Rome is like a Marvel comic that has so many different lore starting points.
It has all this edginess. It's so edgy. It's so funny. It's the edgelords of Romulus and Remus, two motherfuckers raised by a wolf. Right? So they're already badass, and they're badass. They're going around destroying shit, killing shit, and then they find some veterans. They find veterans of the Trojan War who are lost and have nowhere to go, and they're like, "We'll take you in, and we'll be the baddest group ever."
Yeah.
And they start, and even to their own origins, they were kidnapping women along the land. And they finally come to a place with a lot of hot springs, and they're like, we'll rest here. This will be where our city is.
Right.
It's just like they're like Klingons or something.
Over in Rumble, Rez Truth Pod says, I seek the truth, LOL. Great to meet you all. The race swapping of Ellen Page. Yeah, I'm sorry I said that. They race swapped her and they made her a trans man.
Because she ain't no Greek. I mean, I can't keep track of the gender. This person is not a Greek. But I'm gonna agree with something that Rogue Radio said, right? And so she says, my favorite part of the movie was the Cyclops. It's always been since I read the book. What I didn't like is that Odysseus doesn't say he's a nobody, right?
Yes.
And then she says, I think the director did that because he knew that there was going to be a musical version of this story called Epic, and it mentions nobody. So here's the thing. Here's what it is. He took the beautiful elements of the poem and he tried to make it realistic, and I do not like this because there's a whole thing. Odysseus, like in the movie, for those who haven't seen it, they sneak into the Cyclops' thing. They don't even have a conversation with him, and then they fuck him up, right? Pardon my French. But the whole thing is like in it, he's supposed to have a whole conversation, and he's supposed to outsmart the Cyclops. He's supposed to get the Cyclops to overdrink himself to fall asleep, and then they blind him, right? Same thing with the Lastigorians.
Right.
In the poem, when they meet the Lastigorians, they meet the princess of the Lastigorians, and they think she's a little girl, and they're like, hey, and she's like, oh, I can bring you to my parents, come on. And then when they get there, they see their giants, and they're like, what the hell? And then they have the little kid just scream and run.
But I gotta admit something about this movie that was great. I didn't think they were going to touch, let's call it what it was, the genocide at Troy at all. Like that, I want you folks to take into consideration, they had been waging war for 10 years. The Agamemnon in the book is not the one from the movie Troy.
Oh, this is Darth Vader. That's not
And 10 years outside of a place and then finally getting in there, I thought they represented that completely well. Also, touches on something that used to frustrate me when I would watch Troy with Zeus, because he was right about this. Hector and Troy, the movie with Brad Pitt and Eric Bannon, was possibly the smartest person in that version of Troy. He's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, why would we even consider any type of deal? Why would we leave the walls? Why would we meet them on the battlefield?
Right. We could stay behind our walls, right?
And it's just like, he was the voice of reason. But yeah, I do. There was so many things about this movie, brother, that just stood out to me, man. Like the suitors situation, John Leguizamo, the dog.
So,
Cliff.
I actually think they did a horrible job on the dog.
Really?
They did a horrible job on the dog.
Okay.
And so guys, Argo, the story of Argo is one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking. Even when I tell it, I'm probably going to break into tears right now, guys, because that's a heartbreaking piece of writing in Western literature, right? And so what it is that Odysseus sneaks back into his homeland and he's pretending to be a beggar, and he sees this dog, and it's his hunting dog from 20 years before. And before he got on the ship, he looks at his dog and he says, I will return to you, don't worry. And it says that the dog has parasites and fleas and is mangy and should have died years ago, but it is willing itself to stay alive, trying to be a good dog for his master.
Yeah.
And then when it sees the beggar, but it can smell him, it knows who he is, its tail wags, and it realizes that his master had returned to him, and he allows himself, it says in the thing, it allows itself to die, knowing that his master was true and faithful to him.
So wait, you don't think that was represented in the scene with the dog?
This was done by a quick flashback. He looks at the dog and there's a flashback of him as a puppy, and they move on.
It was definitely longer than that.
I was expecting to cry.
The dog's tail wagged. Oh man, that scene of John Leguizamo burning his own hunting dogs after the Raiders had done that.
John Leguizamo was great in this.
He is. He 100% is, man. It's so much to talk about. I'm trying to stay on track, but let me just tell you a few things that, like, The Suitors was amazing. Anne Hathaway was amazing. Charlize Theron was amazing. I really did feel the tragedy of the stupidity of the desperation Odysseus was in trying to keep his men alive. That scene of them floating away into the abyss was insane.
Yeah.
But there's another thing that there's a dude named Metatron who is a fair and balanced commentator on YouTube. He hated the Odyssey. He's the one that coined the phrase "never forget the Greeks." He's this Italian guy, lives in America, extremely smart philosopher type.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, long black hair. But he touched on something, and the point just slipped away that quickly. Wait, so he thinks that Ellen Page was actually cast as Achilles, and he made a very good argument for why that was supposed to be Achilles, and they chickened out. He was like, in the book,
right,
Achilles is who Odysseus meets,
speaks to in the afterlife.
And he thinks that, like, maybe there's a world or reality where Nolan was like, no, we might have pushed it too hard with this one, switch it up. But either way it goes, it didn't happen, right? So now we got to deal with the fallout of the nerdrotics, the people saying that, oh, so what? This movie's making money. Now I have to like it because a bunch of people like it. No, it's still woke nonsense, woke trash.
Do you think it's possible that because of I don't even believe it. It's like would have cost too much, but that would mean he would have to film that scene again or create that scene where he's like, why don't I turn Achilles into Sinon?
Right.
You know what I mean? But then remember, the movie opens up with Sinon getting captured.
Yeah, man, he takes that spin. That's right through it. It was like bam.
Well, basically, there's a bunch of things in the poem that I just wish were preserved, being poetic, like the nobody. When he's like, who are you? He's like, I'm nobody. He's like, oh well, good, because I'm looking for this guy named Odysseus. He has offended my father, Poseidon, right? And so they took that whole stuff out of it, right? But still, it's still a great movie.
It's still a great movie. Here's
to pull it off.
So I gotta ask you a question. What did you think about the Zendaya Athena esque?
I loved it. I loved it. It made, oh my god. And so one, it takes the plate off. And by the way, Michael Knowles got it wrong, because I was thinking, did he even see it? Because he says in his review, she plays Athena, and I said no. I was like, no. Someone who had heard she plays Athena might think that, but if you see it, you know she doesn't play Athena.
Well, you know what's crazy? If you look up the cast for the movie, she's billed as Athena.
Okay, so but however, we both know she does not play Athena.
She's an avatar for Athena, like I believe that is.
Well, she's a priestess of Athena who is haunting this dude.
I believe it is Athena who took on the face of this girl to
make him feel guilt.
Yes, to make him feel guilt, and that is a rough scene. But it also touches on something that. Odysseus's men were not saints in this. They weren't men who were wronged just trying to get home, and they weren't even presented that way in the actual poem itself. But when they behead her, I'm like, man, I'm not even sure the Cyclops is the reason you guys are screwed. That was just an outright bastard move. And they say,
no, obviously they went too far. They went too far in the sacking of Troy.
Yeah.
And then also they used the Trojan horse, and the Trojan horse, the horse is the symbol of Poseidon. And so they were already misusing his logos and stuff.
Yeah.
To fuck with these guys. And so here's what it is. People are shitting on it because they're like, Odysseus is a man of pride in this, but he's now a man with war trauma. I think it makes it more realistic with war trauma.
So it's interesting to me because your girl, what's the chick's name that says "Welcome back to hell"?
Sydney Watson.
Yeah, whose commentary I usually enjoy, and even in this, it won't make me stop watching her channel. Right, she has the right to her opinion, but it almost sounded like she was saying that Odysseus suffering from PTSD made him less manly, and I'm like, some of the manliest men I know who went off to fight wars that we can never dream about suffer from PTSD.
So I absolutely agree with you. And so she said that. Michael Knowles said that. One of the, people aren't even sure if Michael Knowles is a heterosexual. Right? No, but I'm serious. There's a whole rumor that he's actually a closeted gay man, right? And so, but it's so funny. He's so genteel, and he's sitting there. He's drinking his brandy in his suit, right? In his Crocs with no socks or whatever. And then he's talking about masculinity.
Right.
I mean, like whatever. And you're right. Real men suffer war trauma and PTSD, and these are real things. And only somebody faking masculinity or knows nothing about men and masculinity would say a real man doesn't suffer from PTSD. A real man just conquers and kills and has fun. Then he sticks his dick in a cow and he's done for the day.
You know what's crazy is Matt Walsh, who has so much to say about this movie, but still has not, to my recollection, publicly addressed his boss and his leanings towards less than American first policies. But it just goes to show you that the outrage culture on the internet is very high. And again, it is your right to dislike this movie. And again, I would not have. I like what's the actress's name? What's the woman's name they casted as Helen?
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, I wouldn't have cast her as Helen, mostly because I would want to protect her from the outrage of the internet and that stuff like that. But I thought she did a great job in the few scenes that she was in, man.
She was in super short scenes. I think she is beautiful, even though they gave her the scar. It was a movie scar. What I mean by a movie scar is, if they have to scar someone in the movie, the person still is hot.
Yeah.
Right. They'll have like one little scar, when real facial scars so she's still hot.
What do you think about the whole Agamemnon the wrapping of his story, that he made it home first and he was killed by his wife? And
I mean, it's true. I mean, it fits the original story. And so, because Agamemnon is famous for being not the first, but one of the greatest woman haters. Right. And so, in it, they have him sacrifice his daughter to the gods for victory. However, I had heard a different version of this story.
Yeah.
Where his teenage daughter was sleeping with somebody he didn't approve of, and it was his right as the father to say to do things, and he killed her for that.
Well, if you got a problem with that, then you got a problem with Islam. So for any liberals who were like shaking in, hey man, you got a problem.
but nonetheless, they had to make they did a good job of making him a piece of garbage who hates women. But another thing that I love is, you know how they make him like the Darth Vader figure?
Yeah.
The way I interpret that is because Odysseus is traumatized, the face of the war, the commander of the war, Agamemnon, in his memory, is the personification of evil and death.
Well said, my brother. Well said, my brother.
You know, that's why he remembers him looking, and he's even when he bows to him and he's looking up, he looks so intimidating. This intimidating.
I love that he has to bow first and then get the bro hug.
Yo, if I became a king, bro, that's how it would be. You bow first, then we hug,
and we embrace. What did you think about the scene I think is talked about the most and was visually beautiful? The soldiers getting turned to pigs.
I loved it. Yo, that scene was terrifying.
It was absolutely was.
It was absolutely terrible. That whole afterlife, or not afterlife, what is it, underworld island that they go to is totally. Here's the thing. This is my one of my like little nitpicks. It's a nitpick. Too many of the islands looked alike.
Right.
Like the setting was always we're on a beach, right? I just kind of wish they had used special effects. And I know he doesn't like CGI. That's the thing. Yeah. He's right. I just wish they had used CGI for the underworld, because if there's a place that needs CGI, it's the underworld, right?
You know what that scene reminded me of? When all the dead were chasing after them. It reminded me, and when they stopped abruptly at the precipice there, it reminded me of that scene when Jon Snow and them barely make it out of the snowbank, and they're like all the wildlings are fighting these zombies, and then that it had that same depth to me. But the actual scene with the I forget the sorceress's name. Obviously, Cersei. Yes. No. Are we talking about the Odyssey? Or are you talking about
in the Odyssey? That's where Cersei comes from. That's the name. That's the name right of it.
I love that. Some people thought it was feminist propaganda, but I do love that she pointed out something that was a constant theme in the movie, which was Odysseus' men. And it wasn't like when they showed up to an island, they were just like, oh, the hospitality of Zeus. They burned a village for no apparent reason, and there was no one there, bro. Like these guys.
So here's what it is. I've heard that what it is even though that was a thing, the hospitality of Zeus, the movie overuses it, and it wasn't used like that. Basically what it is their depiction of it is the way a Christian might hear that rule.
But
the pagans didn't do it like any old wanderer. They didn't say, I'm going to take you in because Zeus said that. You know what? We wouldn't need Jesus if Zeus was such a nice fucking guy.
You know what's great about the whole thing, though, because what they were actually hitting, and Nolan definitely was stealing from the Christian worldview for the golden rule. But I love that was a constant theme, that you had changed society with this, and even with the suitors coming into his home and like abusing the rule of Zeus, the hospitality of Zeus. I do have to say something though, man. That scene when he strings the bow and they realize what's about to happen, that is the longest fight scene I've seen in quite some time. And bro, he is giving them feet, hands, and paws. Like, and I do love that the internet has made a meme out of Robert's, the whole
Robert Pattinson. Yo,
beggars.
Yo, this movie is owned by two people: Anne Hathaway,
yes,
and Pattinson. Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson's so good in this.
Yes, he is. I thought Matt Damon was amazing in this movie as well, man. I thought he did a really good job carrying the.
Here's what it is. I think he did a great job. I just think he didn't have as many dramatic moments as Anne Hathaway and Robert Pattinson.
But the siren scene, my guy. When they showed that part, I looked over to my wife and I said to her, I was like, probably wasn't a good idea for me to read this when I was in the 5th grade. It had just dawned on me. I was like, this should not have been required. I see now why they usually make you wait to read these type of things into high school. But we went to schools in Manhattan and they were like, let's inundate the kids with the information.
Right, yeah.
That scene is so beautiful, man, when Odysseus is screaming. tied up to that thing, and that poor Asian fellow who's just
I was just thinking that. I was like, that's when they lose their Asian. Because they had a token Asian, they have a token Indian and a token Asian on the ship, right?
We're Greeks from Ithaca. I'm like, what?
And their Asian guy, who, by the way, I know this. I've seen that actor before. He's in a lot of Korean martial arts movies and stuff.
Yeah.
When he dived right into the water, I was like, poor guy, poor bastard.
Do the sirens, do you drown or do they eat you when you make it to if you make it to the island? What do they do?
Yeah. I hope I'm getting sex before they kill me.
You're not getting anything, bro.
If they're just eating me, I mean, that would be pretty whack. I never thought about it. I always assumed it was sex and then death, but maybe they want you to drown.
Bro, it makes me think about, remember the first time we watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which is obviously based on the Odyssey? Such a great movie. Nolan's Odyssey. What do you want me to say, man? It's Nolan's Odyssey. So Nolan's version of the Odyssey was amazing, and I enjoyed it.
You want to hear some knuckleheadness? This is so funny. I hope these people were kidding, but like, so you know how like Tom Holland, which by the way, I have to say, I don't think he was horrible. I just don't think he was great as the prince, as Telemachus. But like in it, the person he's allowed, who's left to watch over him and train him while his father is away is Mentor.
Yeah.
And people were saying how cheesy that Christopher Nolan would name his mentor. What lazy naming. And I'm like, that's where the word mentor comes from.
Did you read the book? It's amazing to me because there are two great things that have come out of this. More people are reading the Odyssey, and shout out to the Greeks.
Oh my God.
The Greeks. Some people might argue, I've heard this conversation about this being the pinnacle of Western literature and how this is the binding of Western literature. I would actually say that is the Bible. But
yes, of course.
And then my buddy Brendan last night was like, well, actually, this story predates Western civilization. Some people might even consider it more Eastern than anything else. That's up for debate, too. You know what I do love, though, is I love the fact that the Punisher is still the Punisher, no matter what.
Yes. It's like he has a Brooklyn accent, right?
Right. I had such a good time watching this movie, man. I'm telling you.
It's still good. You know what is funny? Despite these little flaws, because any movie has a flaw, right?
Right.
Despite them, it's still a good time. Even though the Punisher has a Brooklyn accent, I like the scenes where Tom Holland's hanging out with him.
Yeah.
And you know what I said? Like, for instance, there's always good stuff to be said. Like, for instance, when Tom Holland's leaving, Menelaus says, "I'm sorry I didn't have news of your father." And he said, "You did have news, not of his whereabouts, but of his character."
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Spoiler alert. What did you think about, because there's an actual people of the sea, but what did you think about the reveal that the Greeks were the people of the sea? Did you see it coming a mile away? Or
I did see it coming around. So here's the thing. I knew that they were Romans, and I was like, those are probably the veterans, because I know the origin of Rome, or the mythological origin of Rome, right? So like I did see it coming a mile away. Here's the thing. Here's actually the thing another thing that I loved, and I love that cinema can still do this, even though I knew that the people of the sea are probably the veterans of the Trojan War, soon to be the Romans, and we're presented with Troy, but we actually don't see it. The way they put it all together at the end, in this idea of like him having war trauma and being like, we violated the very decency of humanity.
Exactly. That is the hard thing I had a hard time quantifying. Wait, so you're under the impression that the Greeks are not the people of the sea? Because that's pretty much what Odysseus says. His wife says it to him. Penelope says, "You're the people of the sea." So did we?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. The veterans of the Trojan War who had become savages from the war don't go home. They become raiders. But I'm saying they will later on be the founders of Rome.
Okay. You're gonna
mythologically, that's what it is. It's mythologically Romulus and Remus collected the veterans of the Trojan War who had no place to go to create Rome.
See, again, I think me and you have two different understandings of this, and it's all right. It's 2026. You can have. I thought that the Trojans themselves, according to the mythological account of how Rome came to be with Romulus, the Trojans who had escaped intermarried with the tribes that were early Romans, and that's what I was taught.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah. I mean, we should definitely talk about this next episode because I definitely want to research it. Because what I'm reciting is shit I learned in high school.
Oh, yeah,
So I could be naming it wrong.
Wait, here's another thing, man. I'm almost convinced that when Odysseus presents himself again in the hall, he kills everyone. Like, not anyone makes it out.
In the poem, he definitely kills everyone. He kills all the suitors.
I love that some of the suitors started bowing midst the fight as Robert Patterson is like, grab the spear, grab the spear.
So yeah, you know what? I kind of wished, even though it's a great movie, well done. I do wish Robert Pattinson, for all the shit he was talking, could at least fight.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I wanted him to put up a fight, and they made him a little pussy in the end, right?
Yeah, there was no. Here's that Charlize Theron. She's a vampire, right?
Because she doesn't age. That's why she should have been Miss Marvel. We would have loved them. We would have liked the movie more if it was Miss Marvel.
She's regenerating.
Right? Doesn't she look good in this movie
with no makeup? Like very little makeup on.
She's got island makeup, guys. That's just sun and sand right there.
Anne Hathaway killing it. Oh, she did it.
And so. Anne Hathaway is killing it dramatically too. Just her statements and all these things. And this is what it is. People criticize every aspect, any new aspect of it, right? Like for instance, people say it's not in Penelope's. There's a part where she says to her son, he's thinking about her remarrying, right? And she's like, well, it's a tragedy that I have to remarry. Why can't there be a queen? Why can't I just be the queen? And all this stuff. And then people start criticizing that. They're like, Penelope would never say that. Well, for starters, she's fictional. But another thing is, for all we know, she could have had doubt at one point and thought that. That's a normal thought. And so they criticize any artistic choice this poor man has made.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he ends up making a better movie than like a lot of these movies. That's why his movie is killing it, and all these other movies are just drowning.
And so it leads us back to the same question: go woke or go broke. Now here we have the thing. Spider-Man is coming, so it's going to cut. I think I'm very nervous about Spider-Man. By the way, I'm very nervous that it's going to suck.
I'm nervous too. Rumor has it that the ending is very controversial.
Yeah, very nervous. Are you pumped up? So, because I think the real question about where we stand with epics, right? Because epics had died after a while. Some people might say that Troy was the death of the epic. I actually think it was Immortals, which, by the way, there were no Greeks in the Immortals. But I just want to point that out. It was,
wasn't Henry Cavill in that?
Yes, he's the main
young Henry Cavill. But, that's so funny. He was before he was jacked. I remember it was skinny. Cavill was skinny.
But it's friggin' Deacon Frost from Blade was in it as well. But at any rate, so Dune 3, it's going to be epic versus epic. So I'm wondering how Dune 3 is going to stack up against this, because I'm not really considering Spider-Man as direct competition, except for
I agree. I'm so agreeing with you right now, because right now, here's what it is. It's true that there's big presence for Odyssey, and then like we have Spider-Man, but I think it's a different crowd, and I think that there's room for both to exist. Right. However, I think Dune and Doomsday are in direct competition.
Oh,
I don't know why they're putting them close to each other. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And people are gonna have to decide. And so here's what. Obviously, Doomsday is gonna make more, at least opening weekend.
Right.
So I honestly, Dune should have changed its position, but I might have put Dune in November.
So I think that WB is counting on superhero fatigue, since they are the red herring that helped destroy superhero genre. I'm telling you,
do you think they did that on purpose?
I really do think they were like, we can't beat them with quality, so let's flood the market
with garbage, and people won't be able to tell the difference between Blue Beetle and Captain America.
But I think that they're banking on that. I really do want to see how Paul Atreides versus Odysseus is going to go down. I actually would have preferred if these two movies came out together, because now it's reignited my thirst for the epic, man. You know, we went to go see. Did we see Lord of the Rings with each other?
We definitely saw one of them.
Yeah, I think it was 2 hours. But you know, it was like Gladiator. I remember at one point the conversation which movie had the best scaling for warfare. So it was Gladiator, then there was obviously Two Towers had a huge scaling, then Return of the King, and then everything just started to dip after. Actually, I think Alexander was the death of the epic. I don't know why so many people love that movie.
I don't love that movie. I definitely don't love. But actually, I'll tell you this: Troy. Although, because people before Odyssey came out, no one had images of these Greek heroes, so they kept using footage from Troy.
Right,
and it's making me have fond memories of Troy, fonder than I remember it.
Yeah. Honestly, that scene, the arrival of the Greek army on the beach of Troy, is still epic, man. I'm like, man, Achilles. Even if this is a nerfed version, this is kind of insane.
I might check this out. You know what? Somebody, I'm like an AI deep fake fucking asshole, right? You know, it'd be fun if they took all the characters of various whatever, and they because so here's what it is. There's an AI app called Recast now. This is crazy. They can completely take like I could put you in as Achilles. And you'll do everything Brad Pitt's doing, right?
Nice.
They should take the characters from Odyssey and then recast the Troy people. So then it's like a sequel, and it's a movie and a sequel.
I did love that Jonathan Bernthal's character Menelaus referenced Ajax. He's like, my friends are dead. Achilles, Ajax, because I thought they didn't even mention Hector once at all.
Right. Well, wait, wasn't Hector on the other side? Wasn't he Trojan?
In this movie, they didn't reference Hector at all.
Oh, right.
They didn't reference.
Well, I'm surprised there weren't more Achilles references, but they somehow got through it.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to tie it to it at all because it's odd. It was an odd choice, but I still stand by the movie was great. I do agree that it was a little dark, and I don't mean in substance, like the lighting was a little dark, but I thought it worked for the movie. I could listen to the music from the siren scene, which is also the exact same music they play when he's talking about what they did in Troy. That scene when he's explaining to Penelope as the beggar what the Trojan War was and what he had done. There's a shot of Odysseus when he's on the ground and the horse is above him, and that's what made me think of Oppenheimer. And I was just like, "Oh, well played, Nolan," because I had never considered Odysseus as this character that had changed civility or the warfare or how we bind each other as humans. And I was just like, this is great commentary. I know it rubs a lot of people the wrong way because they're like, this is anti-war. And I was just discussing it with my friend the other night. I don't think there's a movie you can make about war that isn't going to come off as anti-war, because
of course
experiences
any real analysis of war will probably be anti-war. Like the only movie that's pro-war is like Starship Troopers, and they're fighting bugs.
It's a valid point, man. But I had a good time, man. I had
absolute great movie. So I do out of 5 stars, I give it 4 stars.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, so that's damn near perfect.
Yeah.
Damn near perfect.
Like I said, I eventually got kind of really bored of the beach scenes. I was like, is there any way you can mix it up right now?
I think that's another thing. People were expecting more intense fight scenes from this movie, but I just know that's not Nolan's style. But
yes, it's so weird. This is so weird, but it shows how great Nolan is. Nolan is a great director, but he's an action. Here's the thing: most of his movies are action movies, but strangely, he's an action director who doesn't know how to direct fights.
He ruined Batman. Bro, I almost got jumped the other day when everyone's like, the superior Batman is Nolan's Batman. I'm like, you are smoking crack. The closest we've ever seen, I'm like, the Bruce Wayne from the Nolan movies is spot on. Closest we've ever seen Batman, like the Batman, was Ben Affleck in that warehouse.
Absolutely. But like an example, if anyone is listening and they're like, oh man, what are you talking about? Check out in Dark Knight Rises both of his fist fights with Bane.
Right.
You don't see what's going on. It's a tussle. You're not sure what's going on. It's it's so gritty you can't even tell what movements are being done.
Right.
And actually I felt like in the final scene of Odyssey was like that too, that I kind of wish there was more classical action sequences. But he sometimes he makes it so gritty I'm not even sure what's going. Like there's a part where they all mob him.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. There's so
it's a weird shot, but he doesn't like to do the advanced fisticuffs I've noticed in movies.
Right.
Even martial strength and martial arts.
Right. But still he gets through it. He gets the point across. So he did great. The movie is great. And once again, this isn't that wokeness can get away with what it is. It's just that this was such little wokeness. It was a false flag wokeness. This is false flag wokeness.
Right.
Personally, I think he was just trying to win. I think he wants to be considered for an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, now the question is, will he be considered for an Oscar for this?
Definitely. I think he's guaranteed a nomination. I don't know if he's guaranteed to win.
Well, we got to see how it pans out. What is it going to be up against?
Right. What other movies are going out? But I think he's definitely going to be at least nominated.
Yeah.
And I think he needed the diversity to make that happen.
Oh, 100%. And I'm not condoning the race swapping. I thought Ellen Page being in the movie, dead naming Elliot Page being in the movie was almost entirely pointless, except for the fact that Nolan likes to work with the actors he worked with before. But there was really no point in that scene at all, to be honest with you.
Here's what I'm saying. I can't attest with how close he is to Ellen Page. Like, obviously they worked on Inception together. I don't know that, but let's be real. She's a cash cow for casting.
Yeah.
For virtue signaling.
Yes.
To be like, look, I had a trans man as my sin-on. I'm a good person.
Let me to the table, I say. Let me to the we will be eating white cake. Oh, too much inside baseball talk.
Oh, serious good times.
So you're going to see Spider-Man.
I'm going to go see Spider-Man.
Okay.
And it's funny. I've never waited for you for Spider-Man movies because I remember last time at No Way Home, I was by myself too.
Right.
Because when we were coming up, you hated Spider-Man.
Right. Well, it's okay because I was going to break the bad news here. I'm taking the family to go see it. This is one of the hold up family special. Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. We got to go see it.
I get it. The family friendly stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's more of a family friendly, but I expect possibly a Dune and a
we're going to see
Doomsday
together. I'm saying, if I got to quit my job to make that happen,
I'll get you fired.
Facts. My brother, did you have a good time tonight?
I had a great time, man. This is another banger. A lot of stuff going on. I'm very excited for the future of nerd entertainment. I can't wait.
It's going to be a good week, man. Might have to jump back on for Spider-Man, at least like a 20-minute show for the review. So you're going to see it when?
Thursday.
You're going to see it Thursday. All right. That's my wife's birthday. I think we're going to see it Saturday. So I know we're more than likely.
Would your wife hate you if you streamed on Thursday?
Yes.
You're like, sweetheart, why don't you go in the bedroom, get ready, and then you creep downstairs.
I'm going to see if I can convince them to go see the early show because the official release date is when, the 31st, which is what, Friday.
But remember, there's advanced or not advanced, but like previews or whatever. So I always go Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna go see it Saturday. So I'm gonna not talk to you for a few days, and you have to resist the urge to. But don't do what you did with the Odyssey. This man, I could not get in contact with this man after the Odyssey came. I didn't know if it was that bad. I'm like, did he self-delete? What's happening right now? I guess you were just that taken back. You were like, I can't even talk about it.
No, because one of the things is I didn't want to spew all the spoilers. Like I'll be like, by the way, Zendaya isn't Athena. She's some bitch they killed. enjoy it.
Okay, there's certain things where it's like if it's been around for 2,000 years, it's okay for you to spoil.
To do a spoiler, yeah.
And spoiler alert, Jesus does come back. Right? Like
It's a spoiler where God wins in the end.
Yeah. I hate to tell you. Folks, catch us on RizRadio.com, Riz Radio Live 365. I'm Steve. He's Mantis. I have to pee. Good night.
Ciao for now.